Okay, stop. Greetings, Miss Zaida and my dear classmates. Today, the topic of my speech is about Hitler's vegetarian stance for animals. Hitler transitioned to a vegetarian for 3 years, from 1942 to 1945, after which he died in the embrace of his dog, Blondie. Even though it was a short time, considering he lived 56 years, he is still considered a vegan because majority of vegans spend most of their lives as non-vegans. There's plenty. I'll be delving into Hitler's motivation and contribution for the cause, which is the welfare of animals. There's plenty of evidences that proves Hitler's motivation for his vegetarian stance for animals stemmed from concern for the animals. In his 1938 biography, Hitler described how Mein Kampf. In it, Hitler would describe how he would share his food with mice when food was scarce. His favorite animals were horses, wolves, and dogs. And he hated hunting and horse racing and would refer to them as remnants of a feudal world. Furthermore, Hal Herzog, a retired professor of psychology in West Carolina University, who focused on the research of the psychology of human interaction with other species, wrote an article on Psychology Today titled "Was Hitler a Vegetarian? The Nazi Animal Protect Movement," where he refers to historians' accounts of Hitler's stance for the animals, in which Hitler had during one of his dates with a female companion who ordered sausage, he judged her saying, "I didn't think you wanted to devour a dead corpse, the flesh of a dead animal, cadaver." However, Hitler's extent of vegetarianism is still controversial. He decided to become a vegetarian despite his doctor's warning against it, but his dietitian and cook would often sneak meat or meat broth into his foods out of concern for his health without him knowing about it. Marlene von Exner, Hitler's dietitian in 1943, reportedly added bone marrow into his soup, without his consent, of course. Other than that, in Greenberry's book, Hitler, Neither Vegetarian Nor Animal Lover, a book written to correct lies about Hitler's dedication to vegetarianism. In the book, it will say that Hitler occasionally ate sausages, which makes him an inconsistent vegetarian. But we could argue that he's still a vegetarian because most of modern Americans are inconsistent vegetarian, just like how Hitler is back then, according to another blog post of Mr. Hal Herzog on Psychology Today. Even so, we can't simply undermine Hitler's contribution to massively improving the welfare of animals in Germany. According to VintageNews.com, in 1933, the Nazis legislated a lot of strict laws regulating slaughtering of animals, some of which include the ban of all inhumane treatments of animals in film production, use of dogs in hunting. Furthermore, cutting the tails and ears of dog without anesthesia, and lives are banned, and livestock are required to be humanely slaughtered. Funnily enough, the Nazis were also weirdly concerned with the suffering of lobsters in restaurants. So much that they passed a special law in 1936 regarding the correct way to dispatch lobsters and crabs. That is not all. They also implemented other laws like pets that are terminally ill needs to be humanely and timely euthanized. And horses.
Conclude.
And to conclude, not all of these laws were directly set in place by Hitler, but he definitely had a huge influence on the fact that these laws are in place. To conclude, I've shown Hitler's effort to reduce animal suffering by adopting a vegan diet and his contribution through creation of new laws. The purpose of this speech is to show that even people who we deem as evil are capable of doing good, and that everyone has a capacity for good and evil. That is all for my speech. Thank you.